This might be the best value CoreXY printer I've used thus far, and I'm actually enjoying it. But there is one huge problem that might make it a hard no for you. These are both of my printers. I'm using the AD5X by Flashforge in comparison to the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. One, I'm not going to use VEC. This one is an AMS built onto it because at the same point, this one is an enclosure and you have to print it yourself. So at that point, it's just going to be setup, print speed, quality, overall just usage, sound, things like that. Speed is where I believe the Elegoo Centauri Carbon does shine. Now I know both this one and that one do market to be a 500 millimeter per second like speed in terms of print. Now what I've found is they both obviously fluctuate in terms of having the best performance in certain areas. It's not just 500 the whole time unless it's more than likely it's just a big ass circle or certain other prints that are just a bit quicker. So certain areas obviously are a bit faster, and I've noticed that with the AD5X by Flashforge, there are certain areas that are just super slow, and even the same prints on that are noticeably quicker on the Centauri Carbon by Flashforge. I really enjoy the speed here, and if speed and quality per dollar is what you're going for, like bang for your buck style, then the Centauri Carbon is the winner in this category. Did a long print on the Centauri Carbon, and of course it's the same thing as everyone else does when they do one helmet print. It's the Daredevil helmet, and it just looks sick, dude. And to be able to do this in one print. Now 17 plus hours. I did pause it for 15 plus minutes. I just turned it off because I was gonna leave and I didn't. I haven't used this long enough to see if I could trust it, like just to leave it in my home to be running, but when I'm gone. So came back after about 15 minutes, turned it on. Exceptional quality. I could not find a layer line where it started back, so in terms of resume print, exceptional. Obviously if it got too cold it would have came off the plate, but it didn't with all the supports on there. Now I went to RefMaker. I made sure I sized the helmet properly, measured my head, I found the exact percentage I needed to have the helmet at, and then I went to go print it without thinking about it 1 second, and what do you know? I didn't put 103% in like I should have, so I got a helmet that doesn't fit. It does fit my wife, however, so she's got a Daredevil helmet. Hey, yay, yay! One thing I do have to mention, first power on the Centauri Carbon, it slammed into the back wall horrifically hard. And no, I don't mean everyone freaking out when it lightly bumps into the wall in the front glass. That's classic bump homing where it goes off resistance. Well aware of that. I have other G-code machines, laser engravers, and stuff like that. That's not weird to me. What was weird to me is after it did that, totally fine. I ran the initial calibration when you first turn it on. It takes about 25 minutes. It should have been fine. It just started slamming into the back wall full force, and so hard that it lifted the front of this thing off the ground. I turned it off, turned it back on, reran the calibration, made sure to hit leveling every time I printed, and it takes a little bit longer, but I haven't had any issues since. But I felt like I had to mention that when it comes to issues with this. I did not have anything like that with the Flashforge. So here is the huge but, and not the huge but you probably want. This thing is amazing. However, when it comes to connectivity and things that should exist in 2025, because I can send prints from my computer to this thing, so clearly it has Wi-Fi connectivity. I connected it to Wi-Fi, so that's there. With my AD5X, out of the box, even though I had to go to a web browser to download the Flashforge app on my Android phone, it works fine. I can monitor prints, I can pause them, I can do what I need to do from the camera. Even though the camera is not as great over here, its functionality, which means I can leave and check on it. I haven't had an issue with it so far to where it alerts me of any issue, but I don't, even though it doesn't do that, I can just kind of check and see and at least pause it. With Centauri Carbon, unless I'm missing something, guys, you have to do a DIY Raspberry Pi setup. You have to do some kind of web browser, third-party mirroring thing. It's just out of the box from one of the biggest FDM 3D printer producers out there. I expected more from this. And when you check the app that they have, it connects to all their other printers, and then it connects to the Centauri Carbon 2. But this one I can't connect to. If you guys have a way of connecting to that without doing some kind of DIY setup, let me know. It's not the end of the world to do that. It's just if you're expecting the ease of use and connectivity, good ecosystem, They didn't really do that with Centauri Carbon. I don't know why. In terms of print quality, though, it's exceptional. Your goal is to build a 3D print farm. I'm just going to let you know, the Centauri Carbon one is not it. If you were, once again, I build stuff from wood, I do stuff on cars, I, build vehicles, dirt bikes, that kind of thing. It's not the end of the world to have to order a Raspberry Pi or something to piggyback some kind of, I guess, IP to my phone somewhere, or use some kind of third-party app, but it shouldn't be that difficult. With this, I can straight up set up 15 of these and have them all connected to the one app. It works fine. I can check on each one of them individually. It's where it should be in 2025. I would get if this thing came out 6 years ago. This would be insane, and it wouldn't matter if it doesn't connect to your phone. But it's 2026, and it should be there, especially since I bought it in 2026. Like, you had to have been able to add something, do something. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how hard it is to do that, but at that point, it's just weird you can't do that. Here's my genuine take on the Alpha Centauri when compared to my baseline driver, the AD5X, my daily driver. Here's how I really feel about these two. If you were looking for a minimal fuss, daily appliance use 3D printer that's easy to monitor and has a great ecosystem with apps and other things, then the AD5X by Flashforge is yours. If you're okay with the extra bit of friction that Centauri Carbon does have to get that same level of ecosystem and monitoring, but you do really want the speed and print quality that the Centauri Carbon has to offer, then this is your go-to. But that one huge but about the ecosystem and monitoring might decide if this is a steal or return for you. Help you decide, or just see some kind of the drawbacks that I've seen so far between these two printers, the AD5X by Flashforge and the Centauri Carbon by Elegoo. I've seen a lot of printers, regardless of the ones I talk about on my YouTube, where people have issues and they fail and they suck and they're horrible, and I haven't had those problems. Finally got one where it slammed into itself and went crazy, did do some minimal work on it, resetting, giving it some time, and it fixed itself. So it seems to be a quality control more than it is a design failure most of the time. I just wish you guys could get better luck more often, because I hear so many people who get both these printers and have put thousands of hours on, for sure, the Flashforge. I've seen many people do hundreds of hours on these and not see any issues. So same point, entirely up to you. Thank you for watching.